So welcome to the home buying process workshop on this nice, hot, sunny day when our summer has finally began. We're really excited to have this. So we are all of us presenters on this screen are a part of Take Root Milwaukee in some fashion. So Take Root Milwaukee is a membership organization in the City of Milwaukee. It's a not-for-profit, and its goal is to promote sustainable homeownership. So whether it's helping home buyers purchase a home or get ready to purchase a home, or to help people who currently own a home to fix their home, or to prevent people from going into foreclosure, that is our goal. And we're a very large consortium of lenders, realtors, the City of Milwaukee, and home buyer education specialists, as well as neighborhood groups. So my name is Jessica Noth, and I work with Havenwood's Neighborhood Partnership, and I represent a neighborhood group. I'm going to be introducing our panelists. I'm going to actually let them introduce themselves, and then I will remind you again who they are just before they present. So I'll be introducing each of the panelists just before they present, but in just a moment here, we're going to let each of them introduce themselves. I'm going to skip ahead a couple slides just because I was talking about Take Root. So again, we are a membership consortium of all these different agencies that work together to maintain homeownership in the city. And our focus is buy, keep, or fix a home. So today we're having this workshop on purchasing a home and that process with several of our members who are very knowledgeable. And then next Saturday, there's going to be a session about fixing your home. And then there'll also be a foreclosure prevention workshop that's posted. It won't be live, but it'll be posted. So watch for those other two, and you can find them on this website right here, www.takerootmilwaukee.com, or there is the hotline phone number. But look up those other workshops, or if you know a homeowner that needs rehab assistance, tell them about the workshop next week. And if you know a homeowner that maybe is in risk of losing their home, whether it's due to city taxes that are too high, or whether it's due to them not being able to make their mortgage payment, definitely have them contact us for the KEEP seminar. So we are first going to have each person introduce themselves, and I'm going to have Hermione go last so that she can go into her spiel about the Milwaukee Public Library. So first, Samuel, if you could just introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. And I am Sam Overton. I'm with Housing Resources. I'm a homeownership specialist. I've been with Housing Resources for just about 7 years now. Prior to that, I was a mortgage lender for over 20 years. And I look forward to helping you guys educate and counsel and leading you on the way.
Thanks so much, Sam. Okay, Maria.
Yes, good morning. My name is Maria Perez, and I am a mortgage loan officer specializing in community lending, working with first-time buyers at Johnson Bank. I've been at Johnson Bank for almost 5 years, but altogether in lending 22 years. So looking forward to, in the near and also not so near future, be able to help you because we have some great opportunities for first-time home buyers at Johnson Bank. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. Okay, Mai.
Hi, my name is Mai, or May. I'm a realtor with Premier Point Realty. Premier Point has been around for 14 years, and I love working with first-time home buyers. I know that the home buying process can be very overwhelming, but I love to just guide and educate buyers. So I look forward to talking to all of you today.
Thank you. And Ben Sanchez will be joining us later from the city. So I will introduce you guys, all of you out there, to Ben Sanchez, because the city has a lot of great resources. So we have Hermione Bell Henderson here with the Milwaukee Public Library. And first, I just want to say a thanks to Hermione and the Milwaukee Public Library, because they regularly, when we have these large homeownership assistance, whether they've been in person or workshops, the library always helps us do a ton of outreach, whether it's posters or posts. And they also have so many resources that I'm going to let Hermione talk about, but we're so thankful, and they are a co-sponsor of these workshops for June Homeownership Month. Okay, Hermione.
Thank you so much, Jessica, and thanks for having me. just so very happy to be a part of these home ownership workshops and to really just continue our wonderful partnership with Take Root Milwaukee. So Milwaukee Public Library's mission is inspiration starts here. We help people read, learn, and connect. And so that's what we do. We really want to focus on the connection piece and connecting you to wonderful organizations like Take Root and the other presenters that are included in this presentation today, but to also connect you to the wonderful resources that are free and available at our Milwaukee Public Library locations. So some of the resources that I just like to highlight on your journey to home ownership are, things that would be more so prep work. If you're looking to, become a new homeowner, if you want to prep your finances, whether you're just looking to save or build your credit or invest, we do have books that you can read about that. We do have resources that are available online that you can access, directly from home. We do have Gale courses. Gale courses are 6-week courses that you can enroll in for free that again are available through the Milwaukee Public Library. They release like 2 weeks worth of material. And then you can get a certificate at the end once you finish that course. But they do have some things that focus on financial education. And if for some reason you find that, you are not ready quite yet to be a homeowner, we do have a workshop that we partner with the City of Milwaukee's Department of Neighborhood Services. We present Rent for Success with a wonderful presenter so that you can be a successful renter in the meantime as you build up to being a homeowner. So those are just some of the, brief resources, as we get into some of the other workshops next week. We'll talk more a little bit about, some things where you can renovate your home. I see that there's a question. Do you need NPL library card? You do need a library card to check out materials, but everything's free. It's very a brief process to get a library card. You just need 2 forms of ID, one with your name and one with your name and current address. So just a brief process will set you on your way. If you're in the library and you're looking to use the computer, if for some reason you don't have a library card, you can ask for a guest pass for the day. So again, a library card is your gateway for all of our free and wonderful resources. So again, thanks for having me. Again, my name is Hermione Bell Henderson. I'm the coordinator of the Business Technology and Periodicals Department at the Milwaukee Public Library. Currently, we are open. Our locations have been open in a limited capacity. We are beginning to expand some services at the branch location starting next week, June 7th, where browsing will be open. Central Library is going to take a little bit more time to reopen, but we're shooting for August. So we hope that you will come in and visit us for all of your needs. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Hermione. So we are going to move on and get started. So this is National Homeownership Month, and it's our virtual workshop series. And the group that we always send our home buyers to first are the housing counseling agencies. And part of Take Root, we have 4 of them: Green Path Financial Wellness, United Community Center, Axe Housing, and Housing Resources. Housing Resources is going to be speaking to you today, but taking homebuyer education before you start in the home buying process is what all of us recommend. The lenders, the realtors, it just sets you on a path to more sustainable homeownership. And also, if you are at a place where you think, I'm not ready to buy a home for maybe 2 years, check in with a housing counseling agency, because you can work on your homebuyer education and they will walk through your credit report with you and your financial situation, and they can help set you either on a path where you have a deeper dive financial wellness counseling, or set you on the path of how you can prepare for home purchase. So I am going to turn it over to Samuel Overton of Housing Resources Incorporated.
Good morning again, everyone. Housing Resources, Inc., our mission, Housing Resources, Inc. prepares people for successful home ownership. We are a HUD-approved counseling agency that's like being accredited. And so oftentimes when clients are taking advantage of things, they'll have some type of certificate from a workshop. Oftentimes for some of the special programs and grants and things like that, you need a HUD-approved education and counseling certificate. So that's what we provide you. So programs and education and advocacy services that we provide. Right now, due to the pandemic, our classes, we made an adjustment, a great adjustment, and our classes are virtual. So we have virtual home buying seminars right now, a series of interactive virtual classes covering all aspects of purchasing a home. So we will eventually get this back to in person, but we'll probably finish out the year with the virtual since a calendar is already made and schedules and clients have already scheduled for the classes. Next year, we'll be back in person. However, even though we offer in person, we also offer online education, even when we're offering the in-person classes. And so that's for home buyer education online for learning convenience, especially for clients in a more rural area who maybe can't get to some of our locations, which we'll speak of some of the locations later. After the home buyer education, then the thing we offer is the one-on-one counseling. So meeting with the counselor to review credit history, plan the steps needed to prepare for home ownership. And so it's more than just credit. We're talking about budget, savings, affordability. Clients need to know sometimes before they go to the lender, it lessens the anxiety so that they're more prepared. They know, how much do I qualify for? How much money am I going to need? Are there special loan programs available for me? Are there any grant assistance available for me? So the one-on-one covers that. Am I ready now, credit-wise? There are some clients who are ready now and who want to wait. But am I ready now? Will I be ready in 1 month, 2 months? In some cases, we have clients closing this year who've been with the program for over 2 to 3 years due to certain circumstances, due to putting a plan, an action plan in place that finally came to fruition. So then the other thing is the down payment and closing cost funds, forgivable loans and grants that can help you cover entry costs. And I like to say when it comes to the counseling services, like say it's the first step to homeownership. And oftentimes we have clients who start the program and it's not the first step. And you find out later, man, if I had been working with Maria at Johnson Bank, for example, I would have been able to take advantage of one of their special programs, or I could have prepared myself better for them. Or I'm working with a lender who doesn't offer grant assistance, even though I qualify. I could have, again, been working with Maria Johnson Bank, a lender that does offer those services. Or you find out, wait a minute, I could have been buying a home in the city where they offer rehab grants and things like that. So the homebuyer education is the first step so that you know all your options and so that you are prepared. Some of the other programs, education and advocacy services, we offer post-purchase counseling. So we not only want to get you in that house, and we want you to stay in that house and be a successful homeowner. So we offer refinance, credit repair, and foreclosure prevention, counseling services to help existing homeowners understand the responsibility of home ownership or assist them in avoiding foreclosure. And that's some of the things Jessica spoke about as well. I think we'll probably be a part of some of that for some of the clients who own homes already. We offer reverse mortgage counseling. That's more for seniors, to help seniors weigh the pros and cons of reverse mortgages. Home maintenance, that is so crucial to home ownership. We offer classes for homeowners to learn the basics of home maintenance and financial management. And so we don't stop there. We offer a tool loan center. For small annual fee, homeowners can borrow a wide variety of tools to assist with needs and repairs. And I use the tool loan center all the time, even a snow blower, lawnmowers, hammers, anything you need. Oftentimes you may not need it, but once or twice in a 5-year period, it's like maybe I'll just go to the tool loan center instead of buying expensive items. So that's a brief synopsis of what we offer and what we do. We have locations in Milwaukee. Our tool loan center is in Milwaukee, but it can be used by anyone in any county. We have locations in Milwaukee on the south side as well as the north side. We have a location in Racine, and we have a location in Waukesha. So another little synopsis of home ownership versus renting. Some of you know some of the pros and cons, but I'll start with some of the advantages of home ownership, which is a place of your own. Your home is your castle. We talk about pride of home ownership. See, driving in today, you see folks out cutting the grass, taking care of their lawn, doing things like that. The maintenance that you do and the pride of home ownership, and you begin to like some of those things. You're more secure and stable. And sometimes even when you're applying for other things after home ownership, because of that stability, that increases your chances for approval for other things such as auto purchases and things like that. A sense of community, you really get involved and you start to understand now what homeownership is about, and it's about the community, and you start paying attention to things going on in your neighborhood and special programs that'll be offered for families and kids during the summer. So that's a great thing. Financial motivation, homeownership is good investment compared to renting. In most cases, homeownership values appreciate as opposed to certain things that depreciate, such as you always give an example of a car depreciating the minute you take it off the lot. Well, in general, home ownership, you buy a house at 100,000, and this is just an example. 5 years later, it's worth $115,000. So the value has gone up. Along with you making monthly payments, the balances is going down, and so your predictable housing costs, while your rent may increase, home ownership finance with fixed rate loans is consistent. So it's consistent to some degree. And at least you know what your principal and interest payment are. But we do talk about things that can adjust your payments, such as insurance and property taxes. But it's more about the education and knowing that. And so I was hinting on something earlier, but the equity in terms of, I gave an example, the value going up, payments going down. And so you're building equity, the return of results and your investments. And so it's also can be a tax benefit for you. The interest and property taxes paid yearly can be deductible. And so, we discuss that, and you can discuss that. Sometimes we'll refer you to your accountant, but we know the details of how paying the property taxes and the interest each year, how in some cases it can benefit you when you file your taxes at the end of the year. Some of the disadvantages of renting, some of you are experiencing it right now, but limited options to make modifications. You can't put holes in the wall. You can't paint the bedroom purple if you want to. Home ownership, you can't. There's no tax incentive, as it talked about, being able to write off or deduct the property tax and interest. And the way that works is, let's say you made $50,000 for the year and you paid property taxes and interest totaling, let's say, $15,000. So just in a nutshell, the way that work is that interest and property tax you pay for $15,000, it would be subtracted from your gross income. And so now that changes your income to 35,000. So now 35,000 would be the tax bracket you would go into, which would help you either lessen how much you would owe or get more money back at the end of the year. So that's just a quick example of the way being able to write off the property tax and interest works for you. So with rent, there's no fixed housing costs. Once the lease is up, your rent can change, as opposed to if you have a fixed rate loan, that principal and interest will never ever change. No equity and the possibility to build equity. So you're paying rent you're paying rent. And so you are building equity, but it's for the landlord, the owner, and as opposed to at least the money you're putting into your property when you pay your mortgage, you are benefiting from that one way by your balance going down, and another way by the possibly being able to write off the interest, and then also by way of, in most cases, homes appreciating each year and going up in value. So it says here limited to no privacy, and so home ownership, you can be more private. You can put a fence around, and you can do a lot of different things as a homeowner that you cannot do as a renter. No pride in home, just a place to stay. And so sometimes that's how it is, and you're not really updating the home or doing too much refurbishing, simply because it's just a place to stay right now. And sometimes you have to abide by different regulations when you're renting, and you have to the landlord wants to send you a letter and say, we want to come in on this date and this date to inspect and whatnot. And so that's part of the privacy too. No financial incentive, as we talked about building equity and things like that. And then the instability there, whereas you never know from one year to the other, the landlord, they're going to sell the house, or are you still going to rent there? They're going to increase the rent so high where it's not affordable, as opposed to, again, the stability with home ownership. So those are some of the, in a nutshell, there are so many more things, so many more advantages, but that's just a snapshot of that. And so the steps to home ownership, as I stated, the first step, it should be the home buyer education. And after that home buyer education, then you get the one-on-one counseling. And so even though we tell you, give you an idea of things you may qualify for and whatnot, until you go to that lender and get that pre-approval, that's when you really find out. And so you go to the lender, you get that approval, that pre-approval from the lender, and then your next step then is to get yourself a realtor so you can start searching for a home. You find that home and you eventually negotiate, you write an offer, the offer gets accepted. Now you have a legal contract, you have a home to buy soon. And so after that, the lender then converts that pre-approval to a loan application with a property address. And so you'll also be getting a home inspection after that point to make sure you know the ins and out of that house, good and bad. And after you're satisfied with the home inspection, or if you negotiated different things back and forth, we always recommend for your protection, get a home inspection, no matter what type of market. So we recommend. But the next step then would be an appraisal to determine the value and make sure that if you're buying that house for $200,000, that is valued at $200,000. So once that appraisal is complete, then the lender is going to issue you a loan commitment. And so now they're committed to give you the loan. And so after that point, you'll be getting the homeowner's insurance set up. And we talk about those things, and we have resources for homeowners insurance as well. You'll be getting a final walkthrough before closing. You'll eventually close on that loan. You'll get those locks changed, and then you'll celebrate. And so we say this, we gave all those steps, and every single month, Ben sees it from the city, Maria sees it every single month. We have clients who go through these steps and they reach that celebration, and that makes us all feel good. We're building up our community. So thank you for your time, and we'll be here for questions, or I'll be here for questions later as well. So I see, well, there, Trina Bond is our executive director And not Trina Bond the Great. We'll put great behind her name. So
Thanks so much, Samuel.
well,
So after you take homebuyer education with one of our trusted homebuyer educators like Housing Resources, and so when you take the actual homebuyer education, it is a deeper dive, but it's not long at all, which is what's great about the homebuyer education. And then Sam, when he teaches a homebuyer education class, he will bring in a lender and he will bring in a realtor. So the next step, though, before you want to go shopping for a home, is talking with your financial institution. That should be a trusted financial institution. I'm not going to go through all of these, but all of these main financial institutions on your screen are a part of Take Root Milwaukee. And they're a part of Take Root Milwaukee because they're committed to fair and sustainable home ownership. And they're reputable lending companies. But we have with us today Maria from Johnson Financial Group. And so she is going to speak to you about home buying through the lender's perspective and what you need to know. Thanks, Maria.
You're welcome. Thank you so much to everyone for attending. And we're going to be talking about, the home buying process was as far as, how to qualify, what is needed to apply, for your pre-approval, etc. So we're going into that. You can go to the next screen. So what does the lender look for to qualify you for a home loan? It's important. And the first thing that we want to look at is at your credit history and your credit score. Okay, there are different programs. Programs are going to require different scores. But the very minimum that we require is a 620 score, and having a history of payments paid on time in the recent 12 months is basically what we look at the very minimum. So that's very, very important to remember. Okay, there are mortgage options, different options that we offer. I will touch on those as well. And then planning for closing. These are just the 3 steps we're talking about. Remember, this is a snapshot of a home buyer education program. So you'll be going through the program with Housing Resources or wherever that you sign up for, and then we will be going into more detail about that as when you attend those classes. So yeah, there is 3 credit bureaus, and for mortgage purposes, we always are going to look at the 3 credit bureaus. It's one credit report that includes all 3. And I mentioned 620 is your minimum score. 620 should be the minimum score of the 3 scores. They're usually different, some higher, some lower. So that middle number is what we look at through the 3 different credit bureaus. All right. What do we look for in that credit report? What type of accounts you have, how much do you owe? Do you have credit cards with high limits, or are you using just small amounts on your credit limit, which is the best way? History of payments. We want to see that you're paying on time on your credit payments, and also that they have at least a 12-month history. Has there been any inquiries made in the last 12 months or in the last 4 months, basically, that will show in your credit report. So if you're trying to apply and establish credit, if you start and you have not gotten anything, any credit approved, is best to just hold off, wait, talk to Sam, and then he's very knowledgeable about credit and how to establish that credit, and being able to have the scores needed to qualify for a loan. So very, very important to remember that credit is key, is one of the most important items, factors that we look at. Okay. Okay, what does affect your credit score? I don't see I don't see those options, but here it is. Here's a pie. So, a very important, a portion, 35% of your score is made up of of your pay history. if you pay on time, you're gonna have a higher credit score. If you are late, even in one payment, with one late payment on anything you have a car loan, a student loan, or credit card, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have one late payment, that late payment can bring your scores anywhere between 20 to 70 points in just one late payment. So important to remember, pay on time, even if it's the minimum on credit cards, it's best to do that. But paying on time is one of the important things, about your credit. Amount owed, that's another big portion of your credit score that makes up your credit score. If you have 3 credit cards and you max them out, that credit score will be lower for you compared to the other person that pays some time, but owes very little on their credit cards. So keeping your credit card balance under 30% of your limit, of your credit limit, is the best that you can do. Well, is something great that you can do, but the best that you can do is pay your balance off on credit cards every single month. So you don't need to get in debt to establish credit, but you need to have activity, pay your gasoline, pay your groceries, and then pay your bill that same month, whatever it is, pay your electric bill, whatever that may be, just be sure to pay the full amount every month. That is going to help you have the highest score possible in a shorter time compared to carrying a balance every month. The history length of your payment, that also makes a good portion of it. So having 12 months at least on a credit, on a trade line, is what we're going to be looking at. Those that don't have 12 months, we won't be able to use for mortgage purposes to apply, when you apply for your loan. So it's important to have at least a 12-month history on any new accounts. If you have 9 months on an account and you want to account for that credit card or that payment you're making, it's best to wait the 3 months so that you have the 12-month history. Okay, the credit type, the inquiry. So it's good to have a mix. If you have one credit card or in a car loan or a student loan, that is a good combination to have. Credit inquiries affect your scores. If you go shopping for a vehicle, typically a dealership is going to put your credit anywhere between 5 and 25. I've seen even 41. So it's ridiculous when that happens. It's best to just get approved for a car loan or whatever you're doing through your bank always before you do that. Okay. So credits is very, very important. Okay. So the mortgage process, it's important that you gather all of your documents. The more you have, the better. Because if we receive incomplete files, the loan process is going, just the pre-approval process is going to take longer because we can't proceed to actually have your loan reviewed for approval until we have all of your documents. So if we ask for the last 30 days pay stubs, your taxes, W-2s from 2 years, bank statements from the 2 most recent months. If you receive or pay child support, we need that payment history, the court order, if there is a recent divorce, the divorce documents, if there was a bankruptcy. So anything that any situation that applies to you, be sure to discuss it with your counselor at Housing Resources so that they can tell you exactly what you need to bring. Be sure to gather all of your documents so that you can have a faster answer in when you apply for the pre-approval. Okay, so the second step is, that once you have all of your documentation, if you go through Sam, he will send me your package of documents, or you and I can meet to review and do the pre-approval application. We'll give you an estimate, what you qualify for, etc., and start the process there. So the pre-approval, it could be as fast as, within 5 days, but it can take us a month if we don't have all the documents. So that is where the difference would be. Okay, once you are pre-approved, Sam talked about the different steps. This, you look for the house, you find a house you like, you make an offer, which in this case is step 3. So you'll get, you make the offer, you bring it back to us, to the bank, and we will process your loan. There is some steps during the loan process, which, you will learn more in the full course of home buyer education. And and I also walk my clients through the process, step by step. And when we get, the final step in the process is closing. At closing, you sign your documents and you receive your keys, you become a homeowner, and that's it. You're done with the process of home buying. So it may sound easy, it might sound not so easy, but always be sure that your counselor and I, as a loan officer, are here to help you through the process and every step of the way. Okay. So benefits of a pre-approval. Sometimes it's important that you work with a local lender. As first-time home buyers, local lenders offer programs specially designed for you. So some lenders may provide a pre-qualification letter on the spot, meaning it hasn't been reviewed. They have not reviewed everything. Maybe they review your credit and they see that you qualify for approximately, a certain amount based on your income. But if you're given a letter in the spot, that's only a pre-qualification letter. At Johnson Bank, we take, like I said, it could be a few days, it could be longer, but if it's only a few days, means that we have everything from you to process your pre-approval application, and we will get you a pre-approval letter. And the reason it takes a little bit longer, that it takes a few days, is because we have to, besides the application, when we sit with you to take all your information and your documents, we need to process that application with your documents, just reviewing in detail everything, sending it to underwriting, where everything is reviewed. When an underwriter has reviewed all of your documents, we're giving you a solid pre-approval. That means when you go and write an offer, you bring that accepted offer. We're going to process your loan. It's going to be a smooth transaction. We just need to basically make sure that the value of the property is the same, at least the same or more of the amount that you offered, and that the condition of the property is, acceptable. The property needs to be habitable, for us to be able to approve the loan. If that's the case, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the process with us. With a lender that gave you a pre-qualification letter, when you bring the offer, you're going to start that process. They're going to start to find out things that Johnson Bank found before you made that offer. So it is best to be patient and to do things the right ways and just get everything cleared out up front. And that's why we give you that solid letter, because you don't want to encounter all of these things you need to do and clarify, and issues that may end up to not approve your loan because your documents were not reviewed by an underwriter like Johnson Bank. Okay. So, the type of documents we need, if you have, for your credit report, is going to be your personal information, your social security number, obviously your addresses. We need your bank statements to see, what you have in the account. Saving is very important because, and you want to start now that you're thinking about buying a home. If you already have a savings, just keep on saving. If you haven't started a new savings account, because you're going to need some money, even with grants. You still need to participate with some money into the transaction. Okay, so the more you save, the better. If you have more money, doesn't mean we're going to make you spend it. We're going to make you spend as least possible just to meet requirements, but you're going to need some money in your bank account. So if you are a business owner, then you're going to need to provide business taxes for the last 2 years, etc. But individually, we'll let you know exactly what you need. Okay. Do's and don'ts of for the mortgage process. Remember, I mentioned before, credit is so important. Paying your bills on time is going to be very, very important. So if you have been late on payments, doesn't mean that you can't qualify. You may not qualify now, but if your last late payment was in January, we just need to wait until the January next year. So sometimes there is issues. Sometimes with the pandemic, so many things happen. It doesn't matter. There is always a way to fix those problems, and sometimes it's just a matter of time. So don't be discouraged by not qualifying immediately. You are just starting that process, okay? So again, continue to save, stick to your budget. That's something you're gonna work with the counseling agency. Don't buy a car. Don't sign up, don't sign as a co-signer for anybody when you're trying to purchase a home that's gonna hurt you as to how much you qualify, or even it may even hurt your credit score. And in general, I say never co-sign for anybody, but don't co-sign, don't make large purchases, don't try to buy, furniture while you're in the process of buying a home. Do it after, because that can also hinder your possibility of getting approved. Don't apply for a credit card, so that type of thing. Sometimes you may need to, if your counselor says you need to establish credit, we can see that individually. We will let you know what you need to do. Okay. Oh, I talked already about the co-signing. So don't co-sign, don't buy a new car or lease a new car if you want to purchase a home, because that car payment is going to reduce the amount of the home price that you will qualify for. So check before, with your counselor, check with me as your loan officer to see, if you really, really need a car. Let's talk about it first and figure out what is, how is this going to affect you, and just to be sure that it's not going to, hinder your ability to qualify for a home loan. Okay, your mortgage options. Perfect. So there is different loan programs. There is fixed rates, adjustable rates where the rate varies at some point in your loan, the term of your loan. All of the loan programs at Johnson Bank for first-time buyers they're all fixed rate loan programs. So nothing to worry about. They're all fixed rate, and we offer low down payment options. As I mentioned before, we have different loan programs. And also the loan program that you'll qualify for may depend on your credit score. But all of them, regardless, require a 3% down payment on a single family home. For duplexes, there is a program with 5% down. There is another program with 10% down. You're always going to need a lot more money saved when you want to buy a duplex. So that's something that we need to work on.
Maria, I want to throw one question in there just that went along with the home purchase that we got in the Q&A, just because it goes along with what you were talking about that we then won't need to answer later. But so if a person needs to purchase a vehicle, but they also want to purchase a home, how long should they wait to do so? From what I understand, they could just wait until after they purchase the home, then they could go purchase the car, because now they already have the mortgage. But let's say they're in real need of a car. How long typically before they get that home mortgage should they try to purchase that car, unless they're just going to wait until after?
Well, I think it's going to depend mainly on, how much is that monthly car payment. If they go and buy a newer car, we know how expensive vehicles are now, and that payment can be a good $300, $400, $500 a month. So it depends on the income of that individual, because if their income is, it's high, it may not affect as much. If it's, it's on the middle, on the lower side, that $300, $400 payment can make a big difference and reduce, greatly the amount of the mortgage. For example, if without the car payment, someone qualifies for a loan of a purchase of $150,000, and then they go and buy a car, and that car payment is, say, $300. Now they may only qualify for about $110 or $120. Okay. As far as timing, I guess it just depends. Is there if they went to a dealership and they pulled their credit 15 times, and their scores are now, they were 720 and now they're 640. That could also make a difference. So it's really hard to answer, an exact timing, because it depends on these other factors.
Great, thank you.
Yes, but I definitely I do, like I mentioned, if they're planning and doing that, if they need to do that, maybe just buy a car that is gonna get you around for a while until you buy your home, and then after that, maybe you can get something better.
And then I'll just throw this one in here too, because it's in the same moment, but as far as student loans, just student loans, well, I think that would be the same answer. It depends on what the income is and how much that debt is. It's all of your debt added together. And how long would a person have to wait after leasing a vehicle with new credit cards before they're qualified to have their credit assessed?
Well, again, I mean, a lease or a purchase, and I guess it would be the same thing. You know, when it's a vehicle, we're going to take into consideration that car payment. You know, how much is that car payment to qualify you, you know, for the mortgage loan. So they may still qualify for a loan, but they just are going to qualify for a lower amount. That's what the main, you know, issue would be. And then hopefully that their credit, you know, was not hindered as much to qualify for a loan where now their scores are below 620.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. So, you know, yes, definitely homeownership is more affordable than you think. We talked about a 3% down payment. I mean, that's great for a home, you know, to purchase a home. When people qualify for grants, you know, a lot of times the grants can assist, you know, with that. The grants can help also with closing costs. So to give you an example, I had done loans for buyers where their minimum contribution is $1,000 and they received assistance and they were able to buy a house for say $120,000. Okay. Other people may need at least a $2,000 contribution towards the purchase of the home, and the grants, again, they can, you know, can assist with the remaining, you know, closing costs and down payment. So we have great opportunities. We have at Johnson Bank, you know, opportunities. Like I said, the 3% down payment plus the grants that we offer. You know, we have the $6,000 grant, which is down payment plus, and then we also have the $2,500. The $2,500 is they too can be combined. So there is different factors that may affect as to, you know, what you qualify for and whatnot, but we, you know, income is going to be one definitely. And for the 2,500 grant, the first step from Johnson Bank, that one also has a location limitation. So we can, you know, we will talk about it more, you know, individually with each person. Okay, there is another program that we have, Borrow Smart. That one is specifically to one of our loan programs. So if someone qualifies for that specific program, this is another opportunity, you know, about possibly $1,500. We've had clients that receive, you know, the $10,000 altogether in grants, and then they only had to come up with $2,000. Okay, there is other programs, you know, through Housing Resources. Sometimes they have, you know, additional grants that we can also offer through them. So be sure that if you qualify for a grant and the funds are available, you will receive as much as we can give you, okay? And you know, how much money do you need? I think I already talked about that a little bit, but you know, the 3% down payment, the closing costs, you know, escrow and prepaid items, the closing costs, you know, obviously they are the costs for services related to getting the loan. The appraisal, the title, the recording fees, you know, other bank fees. Escrow. So when we get to closing, we're going to, you know, escrow or take 1 month of your taxes and your homeowner's insurance for future payments. You know, for every year to pay your renewals, etc. Of your renewals of your homeowner's insurance, your property taxes in December. You will be paying the first annual cost of your homeowner's insurance. So those are the prepaid items, okay? Reserves, you know, sometimes our programs may require that you have, say, if you're gonna contribute the $2,000, you may need 1 month reserve or 2 months reserves. And the reserves are, you know, 1 or 2 months of the new mortgage payment. So we want to see that after you contribute the needed amount for closing, that your bank account keeps, you know, is going to have at least 1 or 2 months of that mortgage payment. So we don't want to leave you in zeros. We want to see that you have some reserves. So that's why it's good to save as much as you can, because we need to verify this final total amount at least 15 days prior to closing. So it's important that we have some money saved, because we may not be able to save, all of the $2,000 or $3,000 in 15 days or 30 days from the time you make the offer to the time you close. So save as much as you can. Okay. Inspection fees is important that you do an inspection on the property to get to know what the property, the condition of the property is, if what type of maintenance you need to give. But this is more for your own sake, for your peace of mind, to get to know the property and know the condition that it's in. There will be a fee that's separate from all the bank fees. You pay that directly to your insurance agent, but it can count as your contribution, towards the loan as well. Okay. Homeowner association fees, well, that applies when you're buying a condominium. And so, we can, individually talk about those fees and how they affect your qualifying for the condo or a single family home. Okay. And homeowners insurance, as I mentioned before, you will pay the first full year of insurance prior to closing, or it could be paid at closing as well. So that will be part of those numbers that are on the third arrow, the prepaid items. So again, that's why you need to have some money saved to be ready for those expenses. Prepare for your closing. So once we have already, approved your loan, you bought your homeowner's insurance, we schedule your closing, and what do you bring to closing? You're going to bring your personal identification that is current. If it's about to expire, before closing, you got to be sure that it will be valid on the day of closing. So that's important. Otherwise, we can't close your loan. So keep an eye on that expiration date of your driver's license or ID. And then at closing, you will bring a voided check for your auto pay, if you want to do that. But also you will be bringing some funds to close. You possibly already paid some earnest money, you paid the homeowner's insurance, and you may still need to bring, a little bit more to closing. We'll let you know how much it will be, and then to bring a cashier's check. Typically, if you're bringing a large amount of funds, it may be a wire, and I will let you know how that needs to be done. Okay. At closing, you come in, every document is explained to you. We will go over all the numbers to be sure, if you're bringing $400 or $3,000 to closing, everything will be explained, itemized, and show you how we got to that number, so that you understand, everything. You will see all of your credits and whatever you paid prior to your earnest money, the grants, etc. So everything will be written in that document called a closing disclosure, and sign all of the documents. Once you sign, exchange, checks, whatever, sellers and buyers, and then you get your keys. And at that point, you're a homeowner. So what to do when you are ready? Well, first of all, we said you're going to go through the homebuyer education program. It is the best that you can do. You're going to get a much better, deeper understanding and of the process and everything that you need to do. When you are ready, then you can call me, or if you work with Sam or somebody at HRI, you let them know I want to work with Maria Johnson Bank. They send me your documents. And but again, gathering your documents information is very important. The more that you have, the better. If you're bringing half of your documents, your file is going to sit in the counselor's desk or mine until we have everything that we need. So again, important. Please be sure to gather everything that we asked you for. Okay. Once that happens, then we can start your application. You can do that online. You can do that in person. But always call me first. Is best, so that we be sure that you are, that you are getting all of your documents as needed. And sometimes we could also do, in phone application, you can email me your documents. So there is always a way, to make things work for you when applying for a home loan. Okay. Okay, and then, when you're ready, here is my contact information. Call me, email me if you have any questions, between now and when you're ready, or, whatever. I can also assist you with that at any time. So if you want to write down, my name and number for anything that hopefully I can assist you in the future, that'll be great. But just some reminders, be sure to complete your full homeowners education program, with Housing Resources or any of the other agencies that Take Root, works with. Contact me at Johnson Bank when you're ready to get pre-approved. If you don't work with Johnson Bank, be sure to select a local lender that partners with Take Root and with Housing Resources. You will be sure that any local lender that you work with is going to offer you, great opportunities as a first-time home buyer. Online lenders typically charge high fees, and you don't find that out until you have an accepted offer and now you're processing your loan, and now they're telling you you need your 3% down plus you need your $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. I have seen that they charge, as just for closing costs, and then you are not prepared for that. So you don't want to be in that situation. So online lenders is nobody you can see, nobody you can talk to many times, is usually through email. Doing this is the most important, one of the most important transactions you're going to have in your life. Be sure that you understand it. Be sure that you know everything, that you're giving details about it. So working with a local lender is going to be your best opportunity as far as first-time buyer programs and grants. Online lenders usually do not work with grants. So yeah, again, you will learn a little bit more with Sam in their program. Be sure to register and attend sometime in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Maria. And that was very helpful. I know that there's a couple people that have raised their hands, and just for the sake of time, you guys, I'm going to ask that you put your questions in the Q&A that we will either revisit during the course of this or at the end. We are going to move on to our realtor, but before we do that, I'm going to quickly launch a poll. There's one simple question that if all of our attenders could fill it out, and it's just multiple choice. We would love to know, just for future promotion, how you heard about this workshop. There were ads that went out on the radio. So did you hear about it on the radio? Did you see it on Facebook, or was it shared with you on Facebook? Did you happen to find it on our website, or did somebody tell you about it? So if everybody can just type in your answer. And then I know somebody in the chat mentioned that they heard it through Twitter. You can go ahead and mark Facebook, and I'm going to jot down that one of those folks was Twitter. We'll just give it a little bit more time for everybody to have a chance to answer. So if you see that little question, just radio, Facebook, website, or word of mouth. We'll just give it a few more seconds. Just in case anybody wants to see, here are the results. Most people from Facebook or Twitter, and then also the website. That's great. Thank you, Truth, for putting, and fun that you're on this workshop. Library newsletter. Yeah, and everybody, don't hesitate to throw in the chat if there was a place that was not on there that you heard about it, whether it was an email or a newsletter, definitely go ahead and throw that in the chat. Okay, so I am going to ask Mai Vang she will turn her video on, and she is going to talk to you from the realtor's perspective on a home purchase.
Thank you, Jessica. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us. Before I begin talking about a realtor, I just want to let everybody know that I am only providing information about a realtor's role from a high-level overview of what a realtor is and some pertinent aspects about a purchase contract for the home buying process. So we'll start with who is a realtor. Realtors are licensed professionals whose main objective is to help you find a home. They're your trusted partner, and they will advocate on your behalf. Realtors must be licensed, and they must comply with the code of ethics set by the Real Estate Examining Board and the Department of Safety and Professional Services. So this means that realtors must deal fairly and honestly with all parties, all while protecting the interests of their client. Next slide. Realtors will help you with, first and foremost, your home search. You will provide them kind of the criteria that you're looking for. For example, if you're looking for a specific neighborhood, side of town, what you would like in a home, bedrooms, bathrooms, maybe square feet, if you know. They will help you narrow it down. And realtors also typically like to use what's known as the MLS, that stands for Multiple Listing Service. There are many different platforms that people can use to search for homes, such as realtor.com, Zillow, but realtors prefer to use Multiple Listing Service, MLS, because it's where all agents are posting more information. And actually, the other websites pull their information from the MLS. So you will get more accurate information from the MLS, and oftentimes other agents are providing private remarks, which only licensed agents are able to view. And this is very important because these remarks can be very helpful. For example, they can tell agents, when sellers prefer to review offers to purchase your contracts. And they will also tell you, maybe some specific requirements, which again are only viewable by the agents. Next, agents will also help you negotiate contracts. So once you find a home to your liking, they will help you write an offer to purchase. And contracts can be very complicated. They're about 10 pages in length, and there's a lot of information that one must be able to understand. Your realtor will help explain each of these, and then they will also be able to provide you comparables, which means that they will pull a search of homes which have sold recently, and they're able to provide it to you so that you can see how much homes were listed for and how much they sold for. And then based on that information and the market conditions, which your agent will know, they can help best educate you on what is a strong offer to submit. And then last but not least, realtors will also help you manage your offer to purchase. So as I said, offer to purchases have many items within the contract. Most important are contingencies. Contingencies are conditions that are generally supposed to be met before you can proceed with the contract. These contingencies are put into place usually to protect buyers. So examples of contingencies would be earnest money, inspections, appraisal, and finance contingencies. Those are the most common. In this type of market, we are seeing that a lot of buyers are waiving their contingencies. I personally don't think that it's the best thing to do, because then you're, yes, making it easier for sellers, but then you're also putting yourself at risk. So it's very important that you find a realtor that you can talk to so that you can discuss what would make a strong offer and how do you navigate these when you have contingencies in your offer to purchase. And then should anything come up with these contingencies, your realtor will help you to renegotiate and also adjust your offer to purchase if needed. So a quick example of this is, let's say that you select to have an inspection contingency. So then you would get an inspector in, and then let's say you find out that the roof is old and it needs to be replaced. Well, your realtor would help you renegotiate with the seller and tell them, that you would like the roof to either be replaced, or you would like to have credit for the roof to be replaced after you've purchased the home, or you could even ask for a lower price reduction in purchase.
Maya, I'm going to jump in here just because I feel like a question that we had earlier on in one of the first two presentations, but we didn't answer yet, that would fit perfectly here. Somebody had asked, what if they make an offer on a house and then they find a better house? Can they pull their offer? I said there are different ways that they can, but if you could expound on that.
Yeah, so typically I would highly recommend, once you make an offer to purchase, you should stop looking at homes. Just so that you don't have that temptation or that buyer's remorse, because it can be tricky. And what the earnest money is, it's kind of like a security to the seller saying that you're serious about buying this home. And typically we say that the higher the earnest money, like the more guarantee that you would probably follow through. Should you back out of a contract, there is a possibility that you could lose your earnest money. So it really depends. However, like let's say something big came up during inspection. In that case, more than likely, you should be able to get your earnest money back and cancel the contract. But if you want to back out just because you think you found something better, then the seller might be upset because they've lost time from, the market, maybe from other possible buyers who may have, also been interested. So it's a tricky situation, and I would say it's on a case-by-case basis. But generally, when you are going to submit an offer, you should be sure that this is something that you really want, and it's not like you're just doing it just because you're trying.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So realtor expectations. For your information, most buying agents are typically cost-free. This is because your realtor, their commission is being paid for by the seller or the listing firm. However, this isn't always true. Sometimes realtors can have like certain fees along with it. So it's very important that when you are trying to find a realtor, you ask them these questions to make sure that there will be no cost to you. Otherwise, if there is, then at least you're aware of it. And I think it's also very important that when you are looking for a realtor, you find someone who is responsive, someone who is friendly, someone who is very educational and will guide you through the process. Make sure that they fit you and your personality, and then obviously make sure that they work in the areas that you're looking for as well. So realtors will also help schedule showings, but with the pandemic, they have been really encouraging that showings are limited to the decision makers only. And not only that, but sometimes showings are limited. It's very important that you respect the home, the property that you're going into. And I always inform my clients as well that there is potential that the sellers may have cameras inside of the property. So you want to be careful with, what you're saying inside of the house. You don't really know who's listening or watching. Then last but not least, realtors will also cooperate and communicate with your lenders. Very common that they work together. And then also, as buyers, it's important that you cooperate and communicate with your realtors as well, especially in this market. You have to really move fast. Houses, sometimes go under contract within the same day, 24 hours or less. Sometimes, houses will come out on Fridays, and then by Sunday, Monday, they're already under contract. So if you see something that you like, I highly encourage you to get in for a showing. And nowadays, it's just usually one showing, and you should be able to decide if you like it enough or not. But I just want to echo what Maria said. It's very important that you are pre-approved. Nowadays, most sellers and agents require that a pre-approval letter is accompanied with the offer to purchase. So this is all of the agents that work closely with Take Root Milwaukee. You can visit takerootmilwaukee.com, and you can find the list of realtors that are partnered with working especially with first-time home buyers.
Thanks, Mai, so much for presenting. That was so helpful. Definitely, you guys, Mai is down here in this group of realtors, and all of the information of the people that spoke is on the Take Root Milwaukee website. So you go to takerootmilwaukee.com, and it's under realtors is under the buy section. So our lenders. So we are going to move right into Benjamin Sanchez. You guys did not get to meet him yet at the beginning because he was actually also helping on our Spanish workshop this morning. So he was double duty this morning. And Ben works with the Department of City Development, and specifically the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation at the City of Milwaukee, and has just helped countless folks with resources that you can get through the city, whether it's for home purchase or home rehab. But I will let you go ahead, Ben.
Thank you, Jessica. Good morning, everyone. Hey, if you have a chance in the chat section, I would like to know how many people are viewing this presentation from their cell phones. How many people are viewing this presentation from their cell phones? If you are, just write in me in the presentation, so that way we get an idea if this presentation style as a PowerPoint is a good format, or if we need to kind of look at different things. Are you viewing this okay? Is it large enough when you review this information? It's really important for us to know kind of if you're watching this from a cell phone, because it helps us to develop different programs and platforms as we do these presentations. Thank you for your time, for being here. I appreciate your time. Who's outside watching this on their cell phone? I can only imagine that many of you are watching this outside on your cell phone with this beautiful weather. And I really want to thank you for taking this time to sit here with us. If you are watching this outside, I'm jealous. I'm inside my home yet. I haven't been outside yet, so I'm looking to get out there in a little bit. Thank you again for taking the time. My name is Benjamin Sanchez with the City of Milwaukee. I work with the Department of City Development, and I'm also within a department of the Department of City Development called the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation. And within the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation, we have a staff of about 12 to 13 people at the moment. I saw that Lavietta Thompson, I'm going to give her a shout out. She's on the presentation here learning with us as well. Lavieta, thank you for taking time out of your Saturday to learn here about how these programs work and how it actually works to purchase a home. My main focus today is to talk about buying a home and trying to purchase a home with the City of Milwaukee. We had presenters today throughout this presentation that talked about the home buyer education portion and understanding the importance of that. That's very important, understanding what it takes to buy a house. We had presenters talking about the process of buying using a bank, making sure that you get your financing in order, making sure that your credit is in order. We had presenters today talking about the real estate side of things. How does that work when you're working with a real estate agent? So my perspective is a little bit different because I work with a lot of different individuals from different areas and different types of programs that we administer. We administer between about close to 15 different programs. So if you're not really familiar with our programs, visit any of these web links that we have here on this website. It'll help you give you an idea of how many programs we work with. So in 2014, Mayor Tom Barrett actually developed a plan called the Strong Neighborhoods Plan. That's that first link that you see on this website. And that's at milwaukee.gov/strong. You can just click on this on your cell phone. It'll take you right to that website. Hopefully you're not doing that right now. Hopefully you do it after the presentation. In regards to the Strong Neighborhoods Plan, the reason that this plan was developed was because around that time frame, the City of Milwaukee became owner to over 1,100 tax foreclosures. And that was a big problem, unfortunately. We didn't want to become homeowners of these many property tax foreclosures. What happens? An individual didn't pay their property taxes over a period of time, and they lost their home due to the property tax foreclosure. In order to kind of fix this problem and help us strengthen Milwaukee, what we did is we created the Strong Neighborhoods program to prevent, to mitigate, to revitalize, and to renew our neighborhoods. So when we talk about that, we have invested money in the millions of dollars to help demolish some of the homes that have already passed their life expectancy. We've also worked with individuals that are trying to purchase vacant lots or individuals that are trying to beautify the lots. So we have programs available for that as well. We have repurposed many of the materials in some of these homes. So we recycle some of the materials in the homes to be used at a later date. And then in addition, we created programs, many programs for emergencies. And I work with emergency programs as well, but we're not going to talk about that. But if you do want to learn more about that, at the end of my presentation, my phone number will be there. So if we can move on to the next slide, which will contain the city houses for sale. So this is a Strong Neighborhoods Plan website. If you click on that little logo on the top, it'll take you right to the Strong Neighborhoods Plan. And then this is the emergency program as well, the website for the emergency program. I put this out there because maybe you don't own a home yet, but maybe your mom or your dad or a friend owns a home and their roof is leaking or their furnace is no longer working or they're having sewer lateral issues. This program is very important. This is one of our most popular programs. And it is part of that Strong Neighborhoods Plan. Next slide, please. This website here allows you to see what properties are available for sale. This is the website. It's not through our department at the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation, but it's very important to understand because it is the city real estate website. And you see two little houses here. There's an orange house and there's a light blue house, like a teal color house. The orange house kind of gives you an idea of what houses are available for sale. Right now, the deadline for the last offer to purchase on properties was June 4th. So you're going to see there under the current listing, it says offers are pending. That means that we just closed out that section as of this last Friday. It'll come up again within the next couple of days with new properties that are available for sale. Those properties then are available for 30 days. And that's only to individuals that are looking to purchase a house to live in the house. After that 30-day period of time, then those houses, if they don't sell, they move on to that light blue or teal house section, which is called the extended listing. And what that does, it opens everything up to individuals that are trying to purchase as investors. So that's very important to understand because if you're looking to purchase a house and you want it for a house to live in, you want to start looking at the houses that are in the orange section. One important fact, though, is not all houses are listed here. So it's very important that if you're interested in purchasing a city-owned tax foreclosure, that you talk with your real estate agent, because they can look into that a little bit more in detail and figure out what houses are city owned that you can purchase. And then what's the importance of purchasing a city owned tax foreclosure? Well, let's say I make $30,000 a year and I don't afford too much of a house, right? And I don't know what everybody's situation is. I'm just putting a hypothetical example there, but I can afford probably more than what I pay in rent. In most cases, when you purchase a city-owned tax foreclosure, the property is being sold for a very low price. The amount of work or rehab that is necessary is typically high, but when you get done fixing the home, it tends to be a lot less than what you're paying in rent right now. And you own your own home and you get to do whatever you want to do within your own home. You don't have to worry about the landlord not allowing you to paint or hang pictures or issues that are going on. So that's the importance of trying to purchase your own home. If we can move on to the next slide, please. So on this website here, you're going to find the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation website. You're going to see many, many, many programs under this website. Today's focus, I'm going to focus on the Homebuyer Assistance Program. So on this website, when you get there, you scroll a little bit down and you'll see a section that says Homebuyer Assistance. That's the one that helps you with assistance of up to $20,000 to help you fix a home. Many questions come up. Can I use the $20,000? And if I'm using a bank that allows for rehab, can I combine that with grants for down payment and closing costs? Yes, you can. That's where you need to talk with your counselor, such as Sam Overton that was talking earlier today, to figure out what is it that you're looking to do and how is it that you want to purchase a home? Can I combine different grant sources? In most cases, you can. So the program through the Homebuyer Assistance Program, it allows for up to $20,000. You don't pay anything on it. As long as you're living in the home for 5 years, that money completely disappears. It disappears completely. So that means that after that 5-year period of time, you built some major equity in your home without even paying a penny, as long as you're living in that home. Apart from that, we do work with cash buyers. So if you're not looking to use a bank or financial institution, we do work with cash buyers. You still need to get your credit in order because we're going to look at your credit. You still need to work with a counseling agency because it is a requirement. But we do work with a buyer if you're trying to do this as a cash transaction, as opposed to using a bank or financial institution. In addition, we do work with investors. If you're a person that likes developing, let's say your own business, and you want to develop your own business and you want to buy a property that allows you to have your business and have a home in it, we also work with commercial mixed use properties. We work with individuals that are looking to beautify their neighborhood. We work with individuals that already own homes. So those are some of the things that we do within the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation. If we can move on to the next slide, please. And again, here's our information. My name is Benjamin Sanchez. I'm a housing program specialist. After this presentation, if you want to come back to it, we're going to have this available to view. It's going to be recorded. You can click on any of these links. You can visit these websites, learn more about this information. As I indicated, Lavietta Thompson is on this video presentation with us. More than likely, you're going to be talking with her when you call us. Our direct phone number, if you need to call us, is 414-286-5610. That number again is 414-286-5610. I'll put that information in the text. Jessica already put that information in the chat section, so you'll be able to see that there as well. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of the weekend and take care.
Ben, thank you so much for talking about the city. And you guys definitely don't hesitate to call Ben at the city or look on those websites. Also, somebody pointed out, Cordella Jones pointed out that the City of Milwaukee DCD will be offering beginning this month, so this is not quite yet, but several $1,000s in home down payment assistance program. You can talk to a home buyer counseling agency, they would know, but also there's certain neighborhoods that have target investment neighborhoods. You can also look on the city's website under target investment neighborhoods. And if a certain area is a target investment neighborhood, which my neighborhood, Haven Woods, has one, you can get some down payment assistance to purchase a home in that neighborhood that might be for sale. So definitely check out those city websites. I'm going to talk just for literally like 2 minutes just about there's other down payment assistance programs out there. So that's a big help of going to home buyer education. So for example, in my neighborhood, we have several employers that work together through our business improvement district, and they offer $3,000 if an employee of one of these businesses moves into the Havenwoods neighborhood, and $1,500 if they move into the city of Milwaukee. Down payment assistance, doesn't matter what your income is, you just have to move into those areas and work at that place of employment, and that's forgiven. There's also other programs that may be out there, so be aware and look around and talk to your homebuyer education counselor. Also, just that remember that to look for a neighborhood, shop for a neighborhood. So I'm part of the Havenwoods Neighborhood Partnership. We are on the northwest side of Milwaukee. We house the Havenwoods State Forest, which is a huge state forest right in the city of Milwaukee. It's around Sherman Boulevard in Douglas. So we also have a lot of great amenities in the Havenwoods neighborhood. My information will be given to you on an email. So if you're interested in the Havenwoods neighborhood at all. But are there any questions before we close out this workshop? Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to raise your hand, or you can put a question in the Q&A or the chat. Cheryl Randall, your hand is raised. I don't know if you can unmute yourself and you can try to talk if you would like. I don't know if you're still on there, Cheryl. You would have to unmute your mic. I'm trying to give you permission to talk. Otherwise, you can type your question in the chat because your hand is raised. Oh. So feel free to everybody raise your hand, or there we go. Cheryl, you can. I think we'll be able to hear you, Cheryl, if you want to ask your question. I think for some reason it's not coming through. Jeanette Bradley asked, is there a directory or list of neighborhood organizations? Yes, on the Take Root website, several neighborhood organizations are part of the Take Root website, part of Take Root, and so you can find those there. And also, you can find some neighborhoods have things called neighborhood improvement districts. You can find those on the city website. And also I would Google neighborhood organizations in the city of Milwaukee. So again, many are part of Take Root. That's a really good place to start. And then when you talk to neighborhood organizations, ask them as well for other ones that they might know of. So Clarissa, all three, Maria, if you could answer this question, there's a question, do all three scores from all the three reporting agencies need to be 620 or higher, or is it just the middle score or the average? Could you speak to that?
Yes, the middle score needs to be at least 620. So typically the scores are different, from each credit bureau. Of the three, the middle number should be a minimum of 620.
So just that middle one. So, and that could be different at different times. So Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, and sometimes maybe TransUnion is the middle one, and sometimes Experian is maybe the middle one. It depends where they all fall.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And definitely in that homebuyer education, everybody, they will go through with you how to get your free credit report. So you get one free credit report every year from all three of the agencies. However, during the pandemic, and unfortunately, I think this is going to end maybe around June 18th, but because it was extended. So because of the pandemic, the reporting agencies allow people to pull a free credit report every week. And I think that will be ending in June, although it could be July. We could look that up and I could get that information to you guys in an email. Because if it is still June or July, then I would recommend definitely trying to pull your credit reports, maybe even from all three of the reporting agencies this week or next week, the soft pull because you're pulling it. and it would be free because then you'll still have another one once that time is over where they're giving a free credit report every week. Let's see, there's no more questions in the chat or in the Q&A. If there's, oh, here we go. Okay, I think we answered your question, Brianna. Oh, how do couple credit scores work? Do both people have to be above 620? Maria, for couples, do both people have to be above 620? How does that work?
Yes, each applicant must have at least a 620 score. That middle score needs to be minimum 620.
Sometimes what some people do, and again, your lender and your home buyer education specialist can help you with this. Sometimes if there's a couple, depending on the financial situation, so how much money comes together from both or where the credit scores are sometimes there have been couples where one person purchases the home with their credit score. Now, I personally, as a couple, would not want that. I want my name on the mortgage, but those are some things to look at as well. Yes, so you will be able to rewatch this program just because I want to, it's 11:30 right now, so we're gonna wrap it up in a minute. And and hello to Truth Freeman. That's a little shout out. Truth, it's just so good to see that you are here on this. I wish I could see your face. And a couple things, I'm gonna go to the last slide for you guys because that has the information again for Take Root. So I have all your emails from when you registered for this workshop. We will share the video recording too. I think we can share the PowerPoint. If we cannot share the PowerPoint just because of different things that the presenters need to maintain, I will share all the presenters' contact information just so that you have it in an email. And then also the websites that have been put up, we may be able to share the actual PowerPoint. However, regardless, we will be sharing this whole presentation so you can watch it, you can share it with others, encourage others to watch it. And then because you'll have everybody's contact information, don't hesitate to ask questions at takerootmilwaukee.com. Again, that has all of those realtors, all of those lenders, and the different neighborhood groups that are part of Take Root. And you have that hotline number. So Take Root could also connect you. They are like a clearinghouse, and they can help you connect to those different agencies as well as the neighborhood groups. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And a huge thank you to all of our presenters. You guys can put your videos back on. I'm going to stop sharing. Just so that we can see everybody. And thank you again for everybody's presentations and all your work on the PowerPoint. And like Ben said, taking this beautiful Saturday morning to present at a virtual workshop. So everybody stay cool and drink lots of liquids. If some of them have alcohol in them, be sure to also drink water on this hot day. But have a wonderful afternoon, everybody. And so glad that this was helpful.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take care.
Okay.
See you too.
Guys, have a good
Goodbye.
one.
Take care, bye-bye.